What is going on YouTube? Today we're back with our part 2 top 10 LR tier list for Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle 10th anniversary. A big fan of all these new characters that are coming out. Let's go through, check them out. Every new character is just higher and higher and higher, getting better and better and better, except for Goku and Frieza because they suck. But anyways, let's check out the top 10 and we will see what we got going. Starting off, I got Family Kamehameha. I still think this guy falls into the top 10. He's just a good slot 2, slot 3. He does a lot of stuff. I mean, he's got that guard when there's an Earthbred Fighters Kamehameha category ally in the team. I think he goes super duper well with the Vegeta team, or the Vegito team, because he's Earth protecting heroes and a lot of Earthbred Fighters are on that team, which is super great. With 24 keys, launching that additional super attack, he's effective against all types when you have 77% or more HP. Overall, this guy is just still super duper strong, and he's got that cracked standby and active that just tear down the opponent's defense, and I think that is super duper strong. I think this guy does have a lot of benefit of being ran on a lot of these teams, and if you just run this guy with dodge additional, you're going to be hitting these stats right here super duper hard, and I think this guy is elite. There is a better version of him coming up on the list, though. Next, we have Gogeta. I think Gogeta is super duper good. For the most part, I don't really have this character, but I've seen a lot of stuff on him. I've watched him a ton. I do just overall think that he is super duper strong, and every single character from this point forward, all the way like down the line here, are just going to be characters that just get stronger and stronger and stronger. And this guy, he's just insane still. Like this fusion right here is still crazy. There's no like hiding that. This is still an insane character, and nobody should not, think this guy isn't top 10. This guy could be anywhere from here all the way to top, like, I'd say 6. You could really, at highest put him at 6, but it really depends on the character, and your feelings towards the character. Everybody feels different in regards to some of these characters, but this guy's guaranteed critting, 40% damage reduction. For the first 5 turns, he got another 40% damage reduction. You can see enemy super attacks, which is great. Unarmed supers, he nullifies. He has a high chance of evading enemies' attacks when receiving a super attack. Overall, like this part of the card, insane. This might still be top 5 part of the card, but you do still have this part of the card too, which is obviously just a lower tier version than the original, which is completely fun. So that is my number 9. Number 8, I got Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the better version of the family Kamehameha, just the father-son Kamehameha. He's guarding, he's got 20% damage reduction. This does not feel like 20%. When this guy, you can honestly sometimes put him in slot 1 and he can tank. He can eat supers. He can do it. He can do it all for the most part. This guy, no reason there should be any hate on this guy. He hits like a truck. He is absurdly strong offensively, and he does have the ability to do it defensively. He is just a better version of this guy, except his isn't a standby. His is just an active, and his active is just, it's insane. It temporarily raises attack and causes ultimate damage to the enemy, key plus 24, and attack 58% for 1 turn. When he cracks that and he gets this 58% attack, that turn, dude, you might do like 100 to 200 million damage in just that 1 turn alone with this guy, because he's got some additionals based on who you're fighting, and you want to run this guy dodge additional. You don't want to put crits on him. Overall, just insanely strong character here that, I think this guy has a lot of growth possibilities, given that the Android/Cell Saga team has been pushed off for so long. I think that this guy has a lot of growth opportunities, and we're only going to see improvements to his teams, and he leads full power, which is a crazy team, which is amazing. Next, I got this Vegeta Great Ape. I think this Vegeta Great Ape is phenomenal. They don't have his EZA here on the Dokkan Wiki yet, which is completely fine. But he is a human Inhuman Deeds villain, Grade 8 power buff which is amazing. We love, love, love villains that are good. And not to mention that he's just that grade 8 power buff for that Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's just going to get another 10% damage reduction with Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This guy, I mean, I wish hold on. I'm going to pull up the tweet and then I'll show you his EZA. This right here is exactly what I'm talking about. You got that 20% damage reduction right here. You got another 20% in slot 1, so you're up to 60%. Not to mention Super Saiyan 4 Goku gives an additional 10% damage reduction, so you're up to 70% with this guy in slot 1. He is outrageous for that grade 8 power team. Super, 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 super uber strong. Great defensively. He's got like 640% defense in just his passive alone, which is outrageous. And you gotta mention the grade 8 part, so you get free turns of just not taking damage and causing damage to the enemy, which is phenomenal. This guy has so much going on, and I think he is uber, uber, uber good, which is amazing. And that entrance animation being against a Goku, there's so many characters in the game that are hard bosses that are gonna have the name Goku moving forward, which is always awesome. I could see this guy being great for a super long time. We're going to go past him there. Let me close out of these. We are on to Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, as mentioned prior. This guy, dodge, dodge, dodge city with him. He is phenomenal. I love this guy. He is dodging every attack thrown at him for those first 4 turns, and by the time the 4th turn is done, or even before that, you should already be able to go into the grade 8. 70% HP or less, or starting from the 5th turn of start of battle, you can just go into the grade 8, and then you instantly transform into this guy here. And this guy here, he's got guard. He's like 70% defense to power beyond Super Saiyan Giant 8 power. So, like I just said with that Vegeta, he's got that 640% defense in his passive. He's getting an extra 70% right here. So he's up to 710% defense. I can't imagine what his defense is going to look like in game. And he's got 10% damage reduction. Outrageous. When attacking, he's got another 100% attacking defense. He's getting every 4 keys. He's got 44% more defense, which is insane. He recovers 44% HP, so he's giving you more HP. He launches an additional super at 24 key. He can crit, so you just want to throw dodge on this guy. And when you throw dodge on this guy's just going to be even stronger. So you're never going to really want to run this guy in slot 1. He's not a slot 1er. He is a perfect, perfect, perfect character to be in slot 2 for that grade 8 power team. Give it 3-4 more days. The grade 8 power team is going to be phenomenal. When year 7 Gogeta gets his EZA announced and, they give him fucking 70% damage reduction, guarding, and all of this crazy, crazy, crazy stuff, this guy's only going to be even better. I see this guy in the top 10 for a long time, personally, when that grade 8 power team continues to just get better. Next, I got Gotenks. This is actually going to be the character that I pick up with that Harunga summon. I'm going to pick this guy up because I don't have him, and he is so, so good. He is going to be on this top 10 list for a long time. He does everything, and that just... he's phenomenal, man. I love this character. We got key plus 7 attack and defense 200%. Randomly changes key spheres to rainbow, so he's a rainbow orb changer. He gets another plus 1 key for key sphere obtained. When he receives an attack, he has 77% defense. After receiving, he gets 77% attack. For 5 turns, he's got 22% damage reduction. With the final trump card category ally, he's got 77% defense and 33% damage reduction, so 55% damage reduction and a ton of defense already. 18 keys, got more attack and an additional super. He's additionaling already. When he has 24 key, he gets crits and 77% attack. When receiving a super attack, he's got a high chance of having 777 defense. That's insane. Imagine this hits, bro. You're in the money. When receiving a Ki Blast super, his damage reduction rate goes up another 44%. Dude, he's got 99% damage reduction. He counters with ferocious power. He basically just negates. He negates Ki Blast supers. And his active skill hits like a truck. And it massively raises attack and causes ultimate damage. Defense 77% for 1 turn. He gets defense. He's immortal in the turn that he uses this. And if this hits, he's just broken. He doesn't die. If you run him slot 1 and this doesn't hit, you're a little chalked. But, this guy is something special. He has a lot going for him, and I love him, and he's a good link partner to Gogeta with 5 links there. Next, I got Tech Broly. That first turn of just immortality is beautiful. You love that. He is unable to attack, but he has guarding and just 90% damage reduction for that first turn. He's just outrageous. And then you bring out this guy, and he's got 76% damage reduction for the first 3 turns. He's just not getting hit as the first attacker in turn. He guards. He's got even more defense, too. This guy just overall is just insane. He's got a 50% chance of performing a crit, 50% chance up of performing a crit. For every attack performs, another 10% chance up to 50. This guy's just outrageous. I mean, it goes without being said. If a character can be slot 1 with 76% damage reduction for 3 turns, guarding all attacks, and having the insane defensive buffs that this guy gets in his passive, is outrageous. He's outrageous. His active skill gives him 26% attack and defense in the battle and key +3. He just gets another 20% attack and defense. Come on. Dude's insane. That is my number 5. He's just outrageous. That was my number 4, actually. My number 3 is Gogeta. The reason is this guy can be caught. If you go and watch my Super Saiyan 4 Goku video, this guy got super attacked by Baby for 300k in slot 3 after attacking. That is not good. That is not good at all. He wasn't guarding, I don't believe. But the fact that it can happen is troublesome, because that cannot happen to our number 1. This guy does guard for 3 turns. He's effective against all types of 10 key, launches an additional 20k or more as a second or third attacker, and turn he guards again. So he actually was guarding, because he was third slot. So he was guarding and got hit for 390k or something like that, which is crazy. He launches an attack with additional that has a great chance of being a super. He does his things. You guys know all about these characters. Let's go over to the Goku. The Goku is a slot 1, guard all attacks, great chance of dodging. He's a dodge unit. Just already makes him a little bit worse than the Vegito character already. Just having to rely on dodge. Neither of the Vegito characters rely on dodge. I mean, he has a decent bit of defense here in his kit, and he's given some support, which is always nice. Overall, just pretty decent. And then, we come all together, and then we get just like God, For every Rainbow Key Sphere, he gets an extra 5% damage reduction. He foresees enemy super attacks. He's guarding. He's got 60% damage reduction off rip. He fully recovers HP. Launches 2 additionals. He nullifies negative effects. He performs crits, and he's giving support. I mean, it can be said this guy right here is better than Vegito. It can be said. It can be said, and you know what? If you feel that way, that is completely fine. You're allowed to feel that way. I mean, that just also includes his active skill. His active skill is absurd. He causes ultimate damage. All allies attack and defense 54% and attacks effective against all types for 1 turn. And he changes AGLK spheres to rainbow. So he's orb changing on his active, which is his first turn. You get that damage reduction from grabbing rainbow key spheres. He's giving all allies attack and defense 54% and super effective against all types. It can be said. It really can be that he is better than Vegito. I just don't think so, because the Goku and Vegeta part of his card prior to getting to Gogeta are worse than Vegito's. And Vegito's active skill could be argued to be better. With that being said, we're going to go to somebody with a similar active skill to Vegito. Beast Gohan. This is my number 2. This is my number 2 for a reason. You look at the Gogeta event, and you see this guy get hit for 250 on a super attack, right? 250k on a super attack from a 4.5 million super boss. Slot 1, turn 1. Let's just say he's gotten 1 attack in on him. He's been attacked once. 250. If that happened to the Gogeta, like the Vegeta part of the Gogeta card, you'd lose. You'd lose. That's all that needs to be said. This guy is so strong. He guards all attacks, gets an additional key, attack and defense 250, key plus 3. His entrance animation gives key plus 8 and a chance of performing crit and damage reduction for 40% for 4 turns. When attacking, he's got 50% attack, chance of performing a crit up 20% when key is 24. Defense up 80%, damage reduction is 20% when his key is 24. You always want to have 24 key with this guy, and with that key plus 8 right here, you're always going to have 24 key with this guy. He's phenomenal. After receiving, he launches an additional all allies key plus 3 when receiving an attack, which is insane. For every attack received, he gets a key and a chance of performing a crit up 20% within the turn. After performing 5 or more attacks or receiving 8 or more attacks, chance of performing a crit and damage reduction up 20%. Dude, what were they thinking when they made this character? He is broken. He's a joke. Like, jokingly good. He's so good. His active skill targets all attacks towards him, so he's got a target mechanic. Key plus 24, so he's already at 24 key, and he gets insane defense of 158%. And all of his attacks are crits. I gotta put him over Gogeta, man. Like, this team could get better. Maybe. Not like now, but maybe in the future. This guy's always gonna be in the top 10. He's so good. This team's gonna get better because there's a certain Daima character that just got a miraculous awakening. This team could get better. I think he's still gonna be in the top 5 by next Annie. I think for 2 years, this guy's going to be in the top 5. I guarantee you he's cementing himself as the greatest character of all time. Next, we got Vegeta. We got Vegeto. All that needs to be said. He's got the best category team in the league, or in the game. Well, 50% damage reduction for 3 turns. When attacking, he's got another 20%. With 10k or more, is effective against all types. With 20k or more, launches additional super. As slot 2 or 3, he's got another 20, so he's got 90% damage reduction. Launches an additional attack with a great chance of being a super. He receives 2 more key. He's got support for Earth Protecting Heroes and Patara for 1 key and 40% defense. I mean, that right there is 90% damage reduction for 3 turns, sitting in slot 2. By the 3rd turn, you can already turn into Vegeto. If you don't want to turn into Vegeto, you can go into this guy. This guy can perform a reversible exchange, attack and defense 200%, damage reduction rate of 50, key plus 2 for keys, type keys for obtained, Earth Protecting Heroes and Patara category allies are getting key plus 1 and an attack 40%. 100% attack, 20% damage reduction with 10 key or more, 20% launches an additional super as the first attacker in the turn. He guards all attacks and launches an attack with a great chance of being a super. So he's got 70% damage reduction and guarding all attacks in slot 1, which is insane. His active skill, you can pop key plus 3 and attack and defense, 18% guards all attacks in battle. This guard goes over to the other Goku, meaning this guy after that is going to have 40% damage reduction, guard. I mean, yeah, sure. And then you can fuse into Vegeto, who has full HP recovery, 300% attack and defense, receives 3 key per type key sphere obtained, guards all attacks. He's got 60% damage reduction, launches an additional super, Earth Protecting Heroes and Patara category allies, key plus 2, attack and defense 40%, with a chance of performing a crit for every attack performed up to 100. So if you perform 5 attacks, you're going up to 100% crit. For every attack received, your attack goes up. When getting attacked, you counter with ferocious power. And for the first 4 turns of this character, you see enemy supers. His active skill causes ultimate damage to the enemy, defense 300%, turns every attack to crit, and all attacks aim towards him. Insane. Just crazy. He is just crazy, and I did skip over something with Gogeta, which we'll spin back on, but there's nothing that needs to be said. I've had this guy counter for 50 million, and he's at 69% countering for 50 million. I mean, I think a lot should be said that he can counter for attack stats that some characters dream of getting, but, you know. With the thing I skipped over with Gogeta, I did want to spin back on real fast. His active skill for the Goku, is an unsuccessful fusion. You basically turn into Veku, and it's a free active skill that does a lot of damage. I'd say it probably does about 20 to 30 million damage. And you also get guaranteed dodge for 3 turns. And it's a Ghost Usher, so they can attack. So if you like look at the Gogeta kit and you're kind of thinking like, oh, he has more going on, he's better than Beast Gohan, like I respect that. If you have Gogeta at your number 2, I don't hate that. That is completely fine. I personally believe in Beast Gohan more than aspects of the Gogeta unit, but I would say the peaks of Gogeta are higher than Beast Gohan's peaks, and that's completely fine. But anyways, that was the tier list. I hope y'all do enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, leave some comments, and please drop a sub. It's greatly appreciated. I'm out here grinding, trying to make the channel better for y'all, and I hope y'all do enjoy me on this, and do join me on this ride. Other than that, thank y'all for seeing the video. Peace.